Hi, my name is Elyse Fox, and I'm the founder of Sad Girls Club. So I started Sad Girls Club in 2017 after releasing a documentary that detailed my experience with depression. Before that experience, before I was ready to discuss the hardest moments of my life, I felt a lot of shame in what I was experiencing. I was in a really abusive relationship. I had fled my support system to kind of be in this relationship and to fulfill my life on my own. For the first time, I felt like I was alone and didn't know who to discuss my feelings with. After experiencing abuse in that relationship and, hitting rock bottom, I decided to come forth with my story. I felt like I didn't want to feel shameful anymore, and I wanted to grow and I wanted to heal. After I removed myself from that relationship, I landed back in New York City and I had to start my life all over again. I kind of wanted to be around my friends and around my support group, but I didn't want to tell my story as to why I came back home. I basically hid behind my camera. I'm a videographer as well. I hid behind my camera and I didn't want to tell my story, but I wanted to be involved in all the fun activities because no one really talks to the girl that is holding the camera. She kind of can just be invisible in the room full of people. I began documenting moments with my friends, having conversations with my friends, having real moments with my friends for the first time, and I wanted to put together a celebratory piece for my anniversary of my latest suicide attempt as a celebration that I'm still here and I made it through. So I released a documentary 1 year after I returned back to New York City, after all the hard moments in my life, and I put it out into the world. And I had so much shame that people were going to judge me, people were going to think I was weird, people were going to think I was strange, and they would not want to hang out with me. And I was pleasantly surprised to experience the exact opposite. People embraced me with open arms. I released the project online and girls from all around the world just saw themselves in my story. They saw themselves in my life and they wanted to know how they can be supported and how they can reach out to support. I didn't want this to be a situation where I just answered a couple questions and then left it at that. I felt like there was something that was needed and a community was something that was necessary. So I started Sad Girls Club online, because I'm a millennial. I did it through an Instagram page, and I just had all the girls who were reaching out to me through my film migrate to that page, and I told them I'll answer whatever questions you have, whatever statistics you need. I will be there for you because I know how hard it is. I know how hard it is to be a young woman and experiencing depression and anxiety, and I know how hard it is to be a first-generation American in this country and to experience depression and anxiety, so I wanted to create something for them. So Sad Girls Club existed online for a few months, and I began looking at the analytics and noticed that a lot of us were in the same city. And I said, we're talking about the same things. We have questions about the same issues. Why don't we just meet in one space and have these conversations and have a real moment? Let's put down our phones and let's talk for real. So I held our first event, and it was my first time ever coordinating an event. I was working a part-time job at the time and kind of was very scrappy with it. And I was just like, I want to create this space. All we need is a space that's safe and that's open where girls can be vulnerable. We held our first event and it was completely packed. We had everyone who RSVP'd showed up. We had a really beautiful therapist donate her time, and she answered any questions that we had along the spectrum of mental health, whether it's depression, how it affects your sex life, or how does drugs affect your sex life, CBD, anything that the woman wanted to know, we answered those questions for them and created that space. I was very fulfilled after the first meeting, and the youngest member or the youngest attendee, she came up to me at the end. She said, please don't let this be a one and done situation. Please don't let this be just an Instagram thing that happens once and it kind of goes away. My generation needs this, and I would love for you to continue these meetings. So I promised her very prematurely that I will have an event every single month, and I will make it low cost, I will make it accessible, I will make most of them free, because this is a space that is absolutely needed in the world. So today, Sad Girls Club has over 250,000 followers on Instagram, and we produce events on a monthly basis. We make most of our events, 90% of our events are free and accessible to anyone in the world. And I feel incredibly supported by this community. I learn as much from them as they learn from me, and I think it's the best situation. I took a bad situation and I flipped it to be the best situation it could be. And it was very hard. It was extremely shameful in the beginning. I felt like everyone was judging me when I walked into a room, and now I can have conversations with my friends and ask them about their depression, and it's not like this heavy conversation. We need to do a better job at checking up on each other. We can do a better job at checking up on our strong friends. We can do a better job at checking up on each other as a community and as a society. Check up on your brothers, check up on your uncle. Like, we all experience mental health issues. They say 1 in 4 are affected, and I think that number is a lot higher. And if you aren't personally affected, you know someone who is affected by mental health issues. So I just want to speak and spread my message, spread my story, and let people know, like, this is something that's important. This conversation can't just stop, and it can't just happen during Mental Health Awareness Month in May. It's an ongoing conversation that needs to occur. And right now, like today, I am having a very, really hard time in life, and I wanted to not do this speech. I wanted to just cancel, but I feel like I can help someone. Like, my story can help someone. I can impact someone down the line, and that's what it all means to me, is that if even just one person hears my story and feels better about themselves, or they get into therapy, or they tell their mom or their neighbor, whomever they trust, that they are experiencing mental health issues, that's all that I want out of life. And I want to build a better future for my son and my kids and my grandkids and et cetera in the world behind me. So that's me. I'm Elyse Fox, and that's my story.